connection for CO2 into the carbonator, air connection into the carbonator for the air pump. This can be teed into the CO2 if you don't have a compressed air supply. The air pump will be quite happy running on CO2. This is the product inlet, being your still product. And around this side of the machine we have on-off button, CIP button, alarm light, pressure relief valve. We have the product outlet when it's carbonated. This is for a CIP outlet, and this one is the control for the de-aeration. Pause. We have the tank outlet, and this extra valve is to drain the tank if you need be. This is the connection up to the cooler. This is the return pipe from the cooler with a non-return valve in. This pipe goes inside the tank so that we can cool the water in the tank. It's a slow process, but it makes life a little easier. Pause.
Okay.
This is the chilling unit. This is compressor light running, power on light running. This one is purely for the recirculation pump. I'll turn the chiller on. Compressor is now on, the light is on, the power is on. This one enables recirculation. You'll see the tank is now recirculating through the chiller. Turn this off. And the chiller off for the moment. The chiller connections look a lot more complicated than they are. This is the carbonator outlet. This is so we can chill it to the filling machine. Okay. We're going through the coils. There's a coil bank of 4 in this area here. We're going in through one coil, out of the next one, back in, and we're making a loop. We've done a drawing this to assist assembly, and you'll see here the coils are numbered. The next connections are into the carbonator from the tank. With a connection from the storage tank, we're using it into the still input. It comes out of the still input on the still out. We've looped that back into the soda entry so that we can use the recirculation system. This is the recirculation out, going back to the brake tank. This connection on this T-piece is so that we can take recirculated cold water from the tank and the chiller through a set of coils. Again, we're going in number 1, out of number 1, out of number 1, into number 2, and then out of number 2, around to the carbonator input. We'll do a carbonator startup. We'll turn the gas on. We'll turn the carbonator and chiller on the mains there. We'll open the CO2 slowly, and the carbonator will pressurise. It's currently set to just over 3 bar. This is the pressure inside the carbonator for the amount of carbonated product you need to produce. This is the regulator to control the pressure. If you increase the pressure, you get more gas in your product. If you decrease the pressure, you get less gas in your product. Now we need to fill the carbonator inside with CO2 so that there's no air. The gas is now on. If we open this pressure relief valve and let that run for a few seconds, we'll get all the air out of the machine and just be replaced with CO2. That should be enough. Now we'll turn the machine on. I must open the product inlet valve first. I've got the CO2 on. The machine is now carbonating. I think there's already some in there. We can now turn the air pump on. This will boost the pressure to the filler. Pause. This is the filler pressure gauge. This is the filler connection from the chiller. We need to put gas in the filler now, so we'll bring this up to about 3 bar is enough for us to start. And then we close the valve. We now open the valve to the carbonator. That ensures the pressure line back to the carbonator is under pressure at all times. We now open the carbonator outlet. Pause. We let the carbonator and the filler equalise pressure. You'll hear the carbonator is now running and the pressure pump is running. This will now increase to your carbonated pressure from your carbonator. Now, to get the product into the filler, the filler now has some water in it. We now want the water to increase in level to about halfway. Inside here is a float valve, and this is the exit of the float valve. If we open that, you'll feel the gas coming out. You don't want to do it too quickly, just nice and slowly, so this pressure here doesn't drop too quickly. If it drops below the carbonating pressure, which is just over 3 bar at the moment, it will start to effervesce. We want to avoid that because you'll lose carbonation and you'll start to get breakout in your product. We'll just let that fill slowly, and when it's ready we'll start again. The level is now halfway, the float valve is closed and the gas has stopped escaping. Now we're ready to fill a bottle. Open the guard, we pull the handle down, we put the bottle in, we close the guard. This is the control lever for filling. There are 2 marks on it. First we move to 0. Sorry, not 0, number 1. That puts gas in the bottle, brings the bottle up to the same pressure as your product. Then we take the valve onto position 2, and you'll see the bottle is now filling. We'll take your next bottle. Move from 0 to position 1, gas is the bottle, open that valve fully and the bottle is filling. Now you'll see this bottle is full, so we can shut the bottle off on the valve. With the valve in the up position, the bottle is now depressurized. And we have a carbonated product. We have a nicely carbonated product. We'll test one of the other bottles for the actual carbonation level now. Cool. We'll take this bottle out. We need to know the temperature of the product. We'll get another bottle out. This one we will record the pressure on. It's the pressure the liquid generates with the CO2 in it. .4 bar. temperature is 8 degrees. Actually 8.8 degrees. So 8.8 degrees centigrade at, let's say 1.4 bar. 1.4 bar at nearly 9 is 2.9 volumes, or 5.8 grams per litre. Okay. These are the change parts for your glass bottles. So your glass bottle is lifted from the bottom, not the top. Very simple to change. Undo this nut, take this bar off and screw this one on in place. Okay. Now we've finished production, you can keep going until you run out of product in your bottles, because the bottles will only part fill. At the moment I'm just draining the machine to get rid of the product. I've got a valve open and you'll see it draining inside. We're just draining it into this bucket. One thing we didn't mention in the video was leave the recirculation pump running when you're using the carbonating machine. That's this one here. That enables the carbonator to draw the liquid through the chiller and from your tank without interruption. So I'm leaving these coloured pipes in so you've got a bit more of an idea where the connections are when you get the machines. I'm just going to cut them. You will have new pipe to reinstall them. To remove these pipes, they're just a push fit fitting. Push the grey collar in and pull the pipe out. So this one is the carbonator input. This one is the still in. I'll leave that in here. And we have the filler connection here. And the carbonator outlet, which goes to currently number 3. Now the chiller bath is full of water. It says fill bath with water before switching on. The water's just down here. Here is the overflow. Just ordinary tap water to fill it up. We will now drain it for transport. Okay.